All right, sir, what's your name and where are you from?
Sure, my name is Hector Barajas. I was born in Mexico, but I grew up in Compton, California. I ended up joining the military as a green card resident. I enlisted for 3 years, ended up serving 6 years, honorable discharge. I served with the 82nd Airborne, All Americans, and at one point I got out of the military. I started having problems with alcohol and drugs, was involved in a shooting, went to prison at some point, and then I was deported in 2004. I had a life deportation. When I started organizing for other deported veterans, basically I was given a pardon from Governor Brown, and I ended up becoming a U.S. citizen in 2018. But we have veterans deported to over 50 countries around the world, not just Mexicanos. Also, not everybody's deported for being involved in some type of crime. I have veterans that are deported simply for not having any legal status. What I find wrong is that you can go fight for this country, pay your debt to society, and still be deported. What I really like about what they're doing here is, and I've never been involved, is that they were fighting for our rights for a lot of our people, our gente that were fighting in a war. And when we come back, we get discriminated. But immigrants have fought in our major wars since the Civil War, back when the Fighting Irish, the New York Raft Riots. But we've been drafted since the Civil War, World War I, World War II, Korea and Vietnam, and we have many residents that still serve in the military.
So tell us about this organization that you're from, and what are you guys trying to do?
So I belong to the Deported Veteran Support House. At one point I was housing deported veterans. I was also deported in Tijuana, and basically what we're trying to do is change the legislation and trying to get the veterans home. We're able to work with the Biden administration, and we have a program called IMVETS. So we brought over 150 deported veterans home and their family members within the last year and a half. That has never happened ever in the history of the United States, through many different organizations, the ACLU and also DHS and the VA.
So in your case, what do you, because there's some people that take a hardline stance. If you do a crime, your rights no longer exist. You should be deported. What do you say to those people?
Sure. So in my situation, or in veterans as well, some of the veterans, they go to combat. What happens when they come back? They start self-medicating with drugs, alcohol, and at some point, some people I'm not saying myself, right? But some people end up having a spousal domestic violence. They get a DUI. They catch a drug case, but they pay their debt to society. We're not saying I'm not saying get a jail card. No, man, we paid our debt to society. But to deport somebody is double punishment. And then some of our deported veterans, when they come, the only way to come home is when you're dead. So I've had deported veterans, when they die, they're brought back to the United States. They're giving full military honors, and I hear honor, duty, and country. There's no honor in bringing somebody home when they're dead. You bring them home when they're alive.
Wow. And then, so how many people would you say, because it's going on right now,
yeah,
right? I've seen some cases in the news. So in your situation, did you feel betrayed?
You know what? In my personal case, I feel that, yes, the military failed as far as making sure that I got my citizenship, but I also take personal responsibility. I also got in trouble. I made a stupid decision where I let somebody into my vehicle with a gun, and thank God nobody was hurt, but I did my time, But everybody's different as far as that. But I take accountability. I don't feel betrayed. I do feel like the Vietnam vets. Right now we're talking about how they were marching against the Vietnam War. These guys were drafted, sent to Vietnam against their will, or they could have gone to Canada and fled, but no, they went to fight for this country and then they get deported. I think that's wrong.
And then so what measures is your organization doing right now? Are you guys lobbying politicians? Are you guys pressuring? I mean, are you guys giving the people that got deported economic support, the veterans?
Sure. So we do work with the IMVETS program, where they, unfortunately, it's a long process. Getting attorneys, like you can submit your application through the IMVETS program, but you're not guaranteed legal aid. So another thing is also when you come home, the nightmare doesn't stop. You don't have a place to live. You're homeless. Maybe your family members, you burn bridges, or you don't have anybody anymore because you're 60-something years old or 70 years old. Some guys also come home when they got cancer. and they end up dying over here from the Vietnam, being exposed to things from the Vietnam War. So we are asking people to come out and support. There is legislation. I'm gonna give you the card so they can reach out, and they can I can give more information on the specific legislation and how they can help out. There is also a coalition involved, so I can give out that information to you as well.
And then, and with some people, there's a lot of anti-military sentiment. Do you agree with it makes a better person out of a man going to the military?
I grew up in Compton, California, man. I also had a loving home, but I grew up in a very difficult, rough environment. And joining the military was one of the best things that happened to me. I did not go to war, but going to war does change a man or a woman. So, you know, when I have a Vietnam vet that asks people, "Did you go to war?" and when they say no, you were one of the smart ones. You know, going to war and taking somebody's life is not something that I think, and I've seen death in different forms. So you don't want to experience that. But I do feel the military can help you a lot in different ways. You can get an education, but I'm more of a peaceful person now. But if you come to my home, I'm going to defend myself. And but I do feel the military at times has been a good thing, like during World War II, or you know, when who knows where would we be at if Hitler had taken over the world, right? But Iraq, weapons of mass destruction, there was no weapons of mass destruction. We were there for the oil. So there are different situations in different ways, but you know, that's just me. So I think every situation is different.
And then, this was labeled as an anti-ICE march, right? And police brutality. It had a bunch of things under the umbrella, but mainly for the ICE situation. So do you think ultimately what the people are doing to go against these policies that Trump has enacted through ICE, do you think boycotting would be a better tool than what's going on right now? Because you can't use force. They have too much money. They have too many weapons. Like, you're not going to be able to beat them that way. Don't you think boycotting would be a more viable method?
So I have a friend that was Veterans for Peace. His name is George Johnson. He's passed away now. George, rest in peace. But he said he's like, there's 3 things you got to do, Hector, to get the word about Deported veterans. Organize, organize, organize. Just continue to organize and continue to take action. Because anybody can say, you know, God bless you, or I'll pray for you. But put some action behind it, you know. So I think actions are important, and just unifying and just organize. There's nothing wrong with doing it in a peaceful way too, because when you definitely, if you're being attacked, you got to protect yourself. But when you use violence, it just, a lot of things can go wrong. So, you know, that's just me.
So what about boycotting? You don't think that's a more viable weapon?
Definitely, boycotting is a very important as well too. Getting people to boycott is very hard though.
Exactly.
We saw that during Cesar Chavez, how, you know, people sometimes got to survive, and that's all they live by the day. So it's hard, you know.
Or even with the Dodgers, a lot of people did not agree with boycotting the Dodgers. The owner is heavily invested. He's from Chicago. He's heavily invested with Palantir, which is almost setting the agenda with the facial recognition.
Yeah.
They're benefiting highly off locking all these people up. So most people don't see the correlation or can't connect the dots. But I think personally it's more.
And then the other thing is,
I'm getting your point of view.
And then the other thing is, change comes from within. If I don't work on myself and change to be a better man, I can't change the environment around me. You know, so the work comes within, and just keep working on you, and you can change at least the environment around you, and continue and fight for. We're all human beings, man. At the end of the day, we need to have one of the things that, as I started hearing recently with ayahuasca and all these different medicines, the words that keep coming into my mind is love, service, and compassion, because people have shown it for me when I was an addict, when I was homeless. So I try. We can set boundaries, but I try to show that to other people, because we all need love in this world. So.
Wow, well said. And if people want, of course, we're going to put the organization's later handle on here, and Instagram handle. Is there any other information you want to give out?
So yeah, they can. I'll put the information so you can put it out. They can find us under Deported Veterans Support House, And I recently, a year and a half ago, I did close down the place in Tijuana because I needed to work on myself and my health. But there's still other ways that you guys can get involved and support. And not just deported veterans, but support your local community, you know. And, you know, when I went to immigration in 2004, I thought it was going to be nothing but Mexicanos, the guy that's crossing the border. No, man, it's more complex than that. It's the guy that has ties to Mexico, the guy from Ethiopia, the Canadian guy. It's really complex, and it's not. It's just, you know, immigration is not only the people that are the children, you know, the people when you get deported to Mexico, they don't even want you, güero, you know, or you know, in Mexico they don't want you. Like if you look like you're a gang member or a cholo, oh man, you're gonna get the blues.
So you told me off camera it was a fight to get, because you were good to see you, brother. It was a fight to get, you were deported as you said, and you got back. So for someone else that might have a glimmer of hope, they want to come back to this country, what steps, what got you back? What tools did you use?
Sure, with me, so again, organize. You know, you can tell a guy, you know, prayers and all that. You got to put action behind it. You got to mobilize. You know, I had Congress people visit Tijuana. I've been to the White House. But I just kept on working and hard at it. And many people told me, "Oh, you're never coming home." I had a life deportation. I've been deported twice. I've been in prison. You know, but technically I should have never been deported. But then when I got a partner from Governor Brown for the work that I was doing, I was able to come home. And then the other thing too is, I know some brothers that are deported, and your life doesn't end there. You can be miserable here, and you can be miserable over there. You can find drugs here, you can find it over there. It's up to you to make that choice of what you want to do with your life, no matter where you're at. Yeah, it's harder, but you can find peace anywhere. I got a friend that's locked up right now doing life, various sentences, right? And he's able to find his peace right where he's at. Yet people are out here chained to their addictions and to the rat race and to all these other things, you know?
You're definitely right about that. Sometimes we create prisons of our own minds.
Yeah, we're caught up in the everyday shit, you know?
Yeah. Nah, I heard, definitely.
So my name's Hector Barajas, and that's it. Thank you. So yeah, let me give you my cards and what?
Yeah, I'm a poster too, though.
What's that? Are you on Instagram so I can?
YouTube.
Okay, YouTube. Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate your time, brother.
Send me the link to it so I can follow you too.
No, I am.
Yeah.
I'm
What's your name?